Okay. Okay. Well, Mandalore, I've never talked to you before, so I guess hi. I'm Patrick. I do the I'll review anything,
Hello, Patrick.
small little series thing, on YouTube. Um, so yeah, welcome to I'll discuss anything. We're interviewing Mandalore today, and I've listened to the rest of your interviews. I wanted to be as professional as possible about this, so you have about 3 or 4 interviews out there already.
Yeah.
So I listened to those, and I'm not going to ask you the same questions that everybody else has asked you, like why Mandalore, why the Night Avatar, on the cover of a book, Star Wars. Got it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't want to. I just don't want to retread ground. I figure people can go and find their own, answers in the other interviews. So out of our interview, I've got a couple of things that people asked because I went to the greatest place on earth. I went to 4chan and,
God.
and to see if they wanted to ask anything. Of course, I filtered these. I'm not just unfiltered asking these. Some of them had some good questions. Some of them, wanted to know when there's going to be more Fudacock art.
I mean, I wouldn't have the answer for that one.
Yeah. I love that exists though. That's impressive. That's how you know you've really made it.
Yeah, that was I guess to talk about that. I was really impressed by the technical quality of that piece. I was surprised.
I like that you're calling it that piece. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's great art. It is. It's
Well,
really well done.
yeah. That's what was so weird about. Cause it's not the first time I've gotten porn, but I was like, wow, this is definitely the highest quality one so
Well,
far.
like
So
the
of course it's
artist.
gonna be this.
Are you familiar with the artist? I don't remember who it
I'm
was.
not. I know that he'll commission very high profile people for his stuff.
Yeah, I've actually seen some of his other art. All of it's like beautiful, but all of it is porn. So I mean, I guess if porn's your thing, man, he's really really good at it.
I mean, he's making money.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just start at the top of the list of questions if you're fine with that.
Yeah,
Um
sure.
so in another interview you stated that this was basically alternative revenue. You said that you already work your own job, and it's basically alternative revenue in YouTube. Uh,
Mhm.
so, what would you do specifically if you just didn't have to worry about revenue? Would you still be doing YouTube, you think, or other creative avenues?
Like if are we saying like if I had not YouTube specifically, or just I don't have to worry about money and I can do whatever?
Let's say you came into old dead uncle's inheritance, and you got $50 million.
Gotcha. I definitely would still do YouTube. I don't know if I do my other work as much, but yeah, like I started out doing it for fun. But
What are you
basically,
clarifying as other work? You mean your other job?
yeah, I've what was I when did I start actually doing this? I think I was probably 2016. That was when I was finishing up school.
Oh, really?
And
You must be young then. You must be younger than me.
oh
I
no, college school.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm still saying. I mean, I'm in my 30s, so
It
you
was
know.
fuck, so I was in school and I was also working then, but I got an actual big boy job after that.
Oh my God, tell me about it.
Around the end of
I
it.
worked my way all the way through college, man.
Yeah, it did take me about a year and a half longer to get my regular just bachelor's because I did not want to be in student debt. So there
Yeah.
were times where I didn't have a semester to take. So well, can't do it. Got to work more.
I'm
But
guessing.
I got out without student debt, so I guess it
Oh
was worth it.
man, good on you. That's one of those things that even people who get associates these days can't do.
Yeah, I mean, it took longer. Like it was really it was depressing when it's like, man, I still have 2 years of school left, and people I know, God, they're fucking graduating.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. It took me 4 years to get an associate's because I had to work full time throughout the whole thing. So what I'm guessing, since you said the Knight Avatar came from a textbook, I'm guessing you majored in history then.
Yeah, that was one of them. It was history and political science.
Wow, man, that's some.
The political science thing came later. It was basically just in my last year because I'd taken some. There were some courses that had like a credit for each one, and I realized that if I just take like 2 more of these this semester and then take like the 500 next one, I could just get another major in it. So why not?
Wow, I majored in IT and networking myself. I full on tech
Something
priest.
useful.
Well, yeah, I don't work in IT anymore. I worked in IT for 10 years, and now I'm working for the government as an executive's assistant. I work for a very, very important person in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah, okay. We've had some similar life path.
Yeah, you know in movies where there's that guy walking around with like 9 things in his arms, and he's got like a cell phone to his ear, and
like the main character, all he has to do.
Yeah, and he's following the main character, and he's like writing down notes. That's me. That's what I do for a living. I'm that guy in the background. I gotta say, it's completing work. You know, I feel fulfilled, if nothing else. I am definitely overworked. So yeah. That's why I don't get much YouTube stuff out. So yeah. You'd still do YouTube if you had unlimited money, though?
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt.
What else do you think you'd do?
I'd probably take up beekeeping, honestly.
Beekeeping?
Yeah, I've looked a lot into beekeeping, but I just haven't had the like space or anything like that for it.
Why would you do beekeeping?
I don't know. The hobby always interested me. There was I had a friend who was older in college, and he was into beekeeping. Like I visited his hives and stuff like that. He's like, here's how it works. Here's all the honey you get out of it. So it takes time, but I don't know. It's like I can appreciate gardening, but it seems like keeping bees would be pretty fun.
Actually, we spoke about this yesterday, I suppose. We both have back problems, so I guess like beekeeping probably doesn't require that much out of your back. You said gardening, and I was like, well, I can't do gardening anymore. I can't even get down on the ground and then get back up consistently.
I mean, I definitely think yours are quite worse than mine.
Oh yeah.
At least for now, but give me a few years and we'll see.
Yeah, well,
something like that, you never know when it'll get worse or get better because of nature.
Yeah, they told me that I could get surgery for it, but I'd be laid up in a bed for a month. And since I work for the government, I can't. You know, I obviously can't do that.
They told me the same thing. Like you could try to get surgery for it. Like, but it will 100% hit you when you're older.
Did you do the injections?
Actually fix it. No, thankfully, no injections.
Yeah, I didn't do it either. They wanted me to get cortisone shots, and I turned it down. Too expensive, man. It's $3,000 for one shot, and it only helps for like a week.
They said, "Oh, you can do physical therapy and like go to a chiropractor." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, chiropractor!" Like,
did you go to a chiropractor?
I actually did. I looked, but I was careful though, because I looked and I found an actual good one. Was it a complete scam? Which
my cat is causing like hysteria at the door. Hold on, let me open the door for him. I'm sure you can hear that, right?
I only heard one meow.
Come on,
I heard the latest one.
Come on, there you are. Okay, well he's in here now, so I guess he can have fun. I went to a chiropractor too. It didn't help at all. That was
mine did, surprisingly. I've actually been thinking of going back.
Really?
Like, man, you know, it was he was improving a lot, but he had a background in and I think it was like sports medicine. He didn't go to chiropractor school or what. He knew his shit, basically.
Did you have to go to physical therapy too?
Yeah, a bit of it.
Yeah.
The worst part of it was they'd tape me up afterward.
I'm still like $8,000 in debt from that, man.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. They taped you up?
Yeah, well what they would do was after they did like we're gonna move your leg and move your back over and put electronic shit on you, and then they would take this tape and put it like kind of from the middle of my back, and they put it down the spine so that just kind of during the day it would kind of adjust my posture to keep it like where it should have been for healing. It was basically like, you're not bad enough that we need to stick you in a brace. But if we put this here, it's to stop your muscle guarding. But Jesus. There was this one assistant working there who was a woman maybe 20 years older than me. And I think she started to like me because the tape started getting lower and lower whenever she was doing it.
Jesus,
and it got to the point where I came home one day, and my girlfriend was fucking furious because she was like, "You should stop asking that lady to do it." I was like, why? Because I can't feel back there.
You're asking her specifically too.
Well, because it's like it's on my back, and I feel stiff all the time, so it's hard to even like feel anything back there. And she's like, the tape is running completely down your ass.
Oh my god!
Like, what? Like,
oh my god!
It's true. It's like, what?
Oh my god! You must be quite the handsome man under the night suit, I suppose.
I don't think I am.
She was just,
which is what made it so strange. It's like, what? Why is this happening?
So I've started doing these like little Discord interviews, and I've been actually, I've got quite a few people that are lined up for this. But one thing that ever since I've done the last few interviews that still haven't come up yet is I've been asking people, is there anybody that you'd like to meet or like talk to, as far as like, meeting somebody who's famous in the gaming industry or somebody else on YouTube, that type of thing.
Oh man, I mean, there's a lot of I guess game industry people I'd like to talk to, but it's like there's YouTubers I like too. I guess the weird thing about it is I just can't. Shockingly, even though it's like, oh, I have an okay YouTube channel now, it's so weird to me to just randomly reach out to like other YouTubers or like game industry people.
Yeah, that's half my channel at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's kind of difficult to break the ice, even though it would make complete sense why to.
Yeah, I understand.
Because no one wants to be like that. The networking guy.
True, and you already met 8-Bit Brody, so I mean, you've basically you've already made it like top tier. You've basically made the whole thing.
God bless Brody.
God bless the United States of Brody. Well, I mean, you're easy to get a hold of on purpose. You said in another interview. Has that backfired yet?
Not really. Honestly, the reason I do that at all was because when Total Biscuit was still alive, I saw the. I saw the famous comment about I don't give a shit if you leave. We look at charts. You don't. I can't remember the exact quote, but you might know what I'm talking about.
Wait, he doesn't give a shit. Like you look at charts?
There was some commenter who said something like, "This video wasn't informed or something. I'm unsubscribed." He said something like, "Go ahead, unsubscribe. We get 1,000 new people every day."
Jesus.
No one actually listens to what their comments say about videos. We look at charts to determine what to do a video on.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Which I can understand what he was saying. Like, he said it in the worst fucking way possible.
Yeah, it just had like a huge effect on you to make you easy to reach out to. Yeah,
because just when he said like, oh, we don't actually like YouTubers don't give a fuck about what comments say to do videos on.
Like Watch Mojo.
Yeah, and I was like, that's sad. Like, you'd have to do charts to determine, like, all that shit. And I said, okay, if I ever... This was years before. I was like, if I ever get a YouTube thing like that, I'm going to make sure that any one of the commenters can just reach out to me. And I'm actually going to listen to stuff, and I'm not going to do that.
You built a little community. That's actually really good of you. But that's wholesome. I mean,
it gets harder and harder, of course. It's like, I get more mail. I actually just got caught up from last year recently. I don't have a ton, but like whenever a new video comes out, I'll get a ton of mail.
Oh, please tell me that has backfired already.
I have gotten weird shit before, definitely.
Can I ask at least one of the weird things?
Do I have the burger?
What?
I'm gonna see if I have the burger.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but you enlighten me, man.
So, I mean, well, you show images and stuff. You might be able to actually play it.
I can. Does it need audio?
It does the audio. So, I guess. Oh, sorry, my bronchitis is killing me.
Yeah, how's that going? You still dying?
Yeah. It's, I think it's on the tail end of it. I guess, so for those who didn't know, I had bronchitis recently.
Yeah, 2 weeks to live, I got it.
yeah, that made it difficult to finish things up. But yeah, this guy sent me a. I guess it really won't work with that sound.
It doesn't matter. You know what? You know what? Just for this, because I want to see this, and I'm just gonna stick it right in the middle of the video. I'll turn everything off, and I'll just play the video.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I do have it. So I've sent this around to people, and so far no one has like said that's a Vine or something that they recognize. It's this guy unwrapping this
What?
Well, I guess you could see it there. It's this guy unwrapping this McDonald's this fucking sausage shit.
You know what? I just realized it's gonna pick up my desktop audio anyways in OBS, so I can just play this at the same time. I'll just make sure it syncs.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me listen to this. I want to know what this is. What? What the fuck? What is...
I fucking cried laughing the first time.
What is that?
I was like, why is it so loud?
What did it? I mean, that's not a burger. It's a
like a McMuffin or
it's a McMuffin. He just unwraps a McMuffin and throws it down a stairwell. So that
it sounds like a brick dropping.
It does. Do you think he edited that to make it louder?
I don't. Well, I've shown other people who would know, and they're like, "Oh, this isn't like a video I've seen or a Vine."
No, it's not.
I first assumed that like this is some meme video someone downloaded and sent to me, which it could be, but like there was no subject, there was no message. They just like sent me this.
there was nothing else. There was nothing at all.
No, nothing. No subject. No message. Just that attachment of a video, and I'm like, of course I'll download it. You've got to
start using this for something. Obviously.
I mean, that's a more recent one, but it's like I get weird shit. I haven't gotten like anything. It's been like you're ready to kill yourself. I've gotten. I don't think it's been years.
You don't have like a PO box or something, do you?
Oh no, nothing.
Okay, like so no like physical mail. You're not getting because I mean you'd be getting like big black dildos like mainly like 99% of the time.
Funny, but no, I don't have that yet.
I mean, if you had like 17 of them, yeah, it'd be really funny. I guess.
Well, because it's like you send one, it's like you're trying to bother me. If you send me 7, you're helping me make a 7.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's at that point you're doing something.
Exactly.
So let me see what else we got on here. Oh yeah, did you know, I'm sure you're aware actually, since it's you, that there is a theory that you and Seth are the same person.
I've heard something about this theory before.
There is a large theory that specifically on 4chan for some reason, I don't know, but that was like most of the questions that we got on 4chan was ask him if he is Seth, ask if they're the same thing, because you had one video where you... Good lord, what is going on in the other room? I mean, like, my dog is just losing his mind. Tiger, are you okay? Yeah, it's nothing. I don't know. I gotta get rid of these animals, man. They're ruining my interviews. But yeah, that was like 19 out of, the 30 questions was like, ask him if he is Seth. Specifically because in one video you did, I think it was a Twitch video or something, you opened it up and you said, hey people, and people have like been putting that clip next to Seth saying it and being like, they're the same person, it's the same guy.
That'd be, I don't know, I don't think that would be like possible for me to do. Just like the amount of time between each of us to like have uploads bouncing around and managing 2 different things.
Well, I've also thought about yeah, I mean, obviously I don't think that it's true, but I had to, for posterity, I suppose, at least bring it up. But I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know why people think that. Plus, I mean, you wouldn't work a regular job if you had 2 very successful YouTube channels, I'm sure. So you said Morrowind's your favorite video game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in an earlier
it has
interview.
problems. It has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
For nostalgia's sake, that's definitely my grow up game, I guess. Grow up game, but
mine's Metal Gear Solid 3, so I understand completely. Yeah. I can run Metal Gear Solid 3 in like 2 hours now. What's your favorite part about Morrowind, since a lot of people wanted to know that?
I guess it was like the first time I played it, like I'd played some open world games before. But, like growing up, I wasn't actually that like exposed to gaming news or anything like I didn't have a magazine or I didn't have like much to follow. So the first time I actually played Morrowind was on Xbox. I had the complete edition, the Game of the Year edition, which had like the expansions and stuff. And I got it at a local video store. It was discounted to like $10 or something. It was really absurdly far down.
Jesus.
I can't remember why. The game hadn't been out like for years and years. It was still fairly recent. The box smelled weird, so maybe that's something to do with it. I don't think about that part.
Don't try not to parse those memories too hard, man.
Yeah, but it was the first time I played it. I think it was like going out and after encountering Fargoth, wanting to hate elves forever. It was the fact that it's like, oh, like I could go in a house and like move plates and books and shit around. And then looking at
you had like the best experience, like in comparison to mine. My experience with Morrowind was I went over to a friend's house. I wanted to play Super Mario 64. He put on Morrowind on his PC. I said, "This is stupid. I hate it," and I turned it off and I went and played Super Mario 64.
Oh, God damn it!
I wasn't a very good kid. And then, well, I mean, years later, I love Morrowind, of course. But I was like, this is stupid. Why can't I hit people? I'm hitting them. Why isn't it hitting them?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was also like what the fuck? It's like, why can't I hit? I mean, I had to figure out how fatigue and all that worked because that was. I can't think of another game that's I had someone ask me about that recently. Actually, they were doing a video for on RPGs or something, and they said, "Hey, do you know any other game that has like a combat system like Morrowind that's like first person, but if you whack someone, they might not get hit at all and it'll make a miss sound?"
Oh, like one that runs on THACO? Yeah, I can't think of one.
Yeah, I couldn't think of one either.
It does run on like THACO, doesn't it? It's D&D rules. I don't know how familiar you are with tabletop RPGs.
I've played them. I wouldn't know how that goes into like more. Yeah, I played like. I don't think so.
It's like a 1-to-1 for Dungeons and Dragons off the top of my head, from what I recall. But it's.
I know it is. It is like a. I guess I don't know the professional terminology. I know it is like dice rolls essentially for the con. It's just like if you have more of a skill, then that is more like better your chance to hit.
Well, you know, Fallout was built on GURPS, another tabletop system.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the whole thing.
I mean, GURPS is also, I guess, off top of it. GURPS is fucking great, but holy shit, setting up a character is like 2 or 3 sessions.
Nah, I can do that shit in like 10 minutes now, but I play too much tabletop.
When you have like your regular friends, so like we like D&D, we want to try GURPS.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy who pulls out GURPS, and I'm like, we should do this setting in GURPS. We should play GURPS.
Yeah, I mean, GURPS is great. It's just that character setup is that cliff for new people.
Yeah,
it takes so long, but it's like, hey, once you're done, you just have these 6s.
We recently did that, and the guy who was starting, who had never played tabletop before, we just asked him if he wanted to play GURPS with us. He said yeah, and he actually requested that somebody else make his character for him, or just like play the game without him because he didn't want to make the character. I mean, when you gotta reference 3 charts to make a character, that's hard, man. That's hard stuff.
One of my friends who, the resident DM, he has at least a dozen GURP books.
I envy him.
He has like the ones they don't print anymore. He has the, what was the one there was the one that the CIA or someone confiscated for a while.
What? Yeah, I didn't know about this.
There's a GURPS book that was confiscated for a while. It was like banned by some intelligence agency saw it and they thought it was like a terrorist cookbook thing. So it was briefly like out of print for a while. When it came back to print, it was like banned by the whoever agency.
Oh my god.
Because it was called like, it might have been like cyber warfare or like terrorism and something. What was it called? I'll type it. He'll probably give me an answer soon.
Wow, that actually sounds like a GURPS book though, like cyber terrorism. The GURPS cyber terrorism. That sounds like something they'd name a book, unironically. You mentioned in another interview that you would like to be, that you thought it'd be funny to be sponsored for a video by a food company.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember specifically what it was. You said something like Kraft macaroni and cheese, but that brought to my brain, because I'm listening to it and writing down follow-up questions. What would be your dream sponsor for a video?
The only sponsor I think that would be really funny and appropriate
is Raid Shadow Legends.
That would be a good one. I'd make a lot of money off that one, but I think more people would go, "Oh fuck, if I did that."
I wouldn't do it, man.
It would be Mod Pizza. I don't know if you've heard this chain. There's a chain called Mod Pizza, and how it works is sort of like you walk in, and they kind of.
Oh my god! Hold on, my wife is like screaming my name. Yeah.
I mean, that's usually a good sign.
I don't know. I'm in an interview right now. I don't know. Okay, I found out what happened. A cat got outside, and that was why my dog was freaking out.
Oh.
Yeah, that would explain it. She was just outside. I have no idea why or how, but hey, that's what it was. I guess I don't know if I'll cut that out or not. I probably will. So yeah, anyway, dream sponsor for a video.
Yeah, so Mod Pizza is it's kind of like assembly line pizza. Like you walk in and they have like a counter behind it. You say, like, I want that crust. I want like that sauce, those toppings. And they kind of like make it right in front of you, and they like pop in a brick oven for 5 minutes.
Oh my god, that does sound
really
delicious.
Efficient. Yeah, they're good. There's I don't think they're regional. I think they're like a fairly newer place. There's like, oh fuck, if I got a mod sponsorship, whenever I do videos about a mod, I could be like, mod brought to you by mods.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't thought of it entirely, and I don't think that ever happened because, like, they're not like a delivery place. Like, I've never seen anyone sponsored by a pizza chain on YouTube anyway.
Like Domino's or Papa John's did some for a while, didn't they?
I don't know if they did. If they did, I hadn't seen any of them. Because at those, it's like a delivery place. It's like you could use code Ninja for 10% off breadsticks or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But it's like mod is a place you usually have to like walk into. So it's like, oh, it probably wouldn't be successful, but it'd be really funny.
Yeah, plus all the free pizza you'd get. Speaking of mods, are you going to be doing a new mod video soon? Somebody asked that.
Yeah, I think so. I wanted to do more last year, but when the back injury happened, I definitely had my schedule thrown off by several months.
Oh, your back injury was just last year?
Oh yeah, it was in June.
Oh wow, man, you're still in the recovery phase.
Yeah,
mine was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, mine was very, very recent.
I'm sorry.
It threw me off by a few, by like several months. So I was like, okay, like there were games I wanted to do this year along with mods, but I've lost all this time, so I just need to get these done.
How did you balance, or I guess this could lead into another question. I mean, how did you balance having a back injury, working another job, and YouTube?
Well, the other job, I just basically had to take time off from it. I tried at first, like, anyone does when that happens. Just like, I just sitting around is really fucking awful. Like, you think it might be nice for maybe a week, but after that, it was like I was about to go nuts. So what I did was I took time off from it, and I was at home, and it's like I couldn't go on the PC or anything because I just had a chair in here, which I wasn't sitting down on chairs.
You need a standing desk, man.
Yeah, well, even like standing was like difficult because it was sort of like with the muscle guarding, I was weirdly hunted. I mean, I got things better in here after it happened. So I still have it. I have a pretty nice like office chair that's like ergonomic, which was to prevent bad things from happening.
Oh wow!
But it ended up happening in a different way.
Fancy you, man. So
yeah, I mean, it was an investment, but it's your back, so I wanted to be careful, but it got me anyways.
I should do something like that. I'm sitting in like a $20 chair. I mean, I should do something like that for my back.
Yeah.
How do you manage working a job and doing full-time YouTube now?
So I mean, after the end, I definitely had less work opportunities because I'd gotten like I was out of it for several months, and so it's like stuff I'd been doing, like other contractors and stuff would take over whatever I had, so it's definitely more sporadic. I mean, it was nice because in October, there was nothing. I had nothing to do outside of YouTube stuff because my regular work was just like we don't have anything for you.
Oh
so
wow!
It's like, I could just do YouTube stuff.
Did you really pick up? Did your channel really pick up around that time?
Charging.
Not really, but I made a video every week, which was fun.
Well, you said that you were doing you said you were going to be doing like a 2-week turnaround in another interview. Are you still planning on that?
That's usually what I try to aim for. Recently, I've had just longer games in general, which I just can't actually finish. Like, I'm working on one for a Total War game right now, which is tons and tons and tons of recording. And like on Patreon and stuff, I'll warn people like, hey, this one is going to be like, I know people have been asking about this, but this is going to be a longer one if I do it. People are fine with it.
Well, you did Mechanicus recently.
Yeah, that was the which I had started to do stuff for that in December. It's like I played a game once. I play on hard. I play on very hard. I play with settings.
Mechanicus is really long though, isn't it? Isn't it like 25, 30 hours?
It's a fairly long game. Like, once I got used to how everything worked, I could burn through it much faster. It's like, yeah, like, the first playthrough I want to say was 25... Well, the first playthrough where I didn't fucking die, I want to say was 25 to 30 hours.
Yeah, and then you had to redo that on hard. I see why that would take you like 3 months. Are you usually doing more than one game at a time?
When it's something like that, where it's a longer one, I am. Things been very strange recently. Because, like, I had a plan. I was like, okay, I'll just start the new year. I'll do, I did Space Marine, I'll have Christmas, and I'll do Mechanicus, then da-da-da-da. And then it's like, oh, fuck, the Blade Runner game came out on GOG, and, like, they fixed all this shit in it.
Oh, yeah,
like,
you did cover the Blade Runner game.
It's like, oh, I have to talk about that. And it's like, oh, fuck, a Gothic remake, demo dropped. That's very fucking strange. I should do something about that.
That was probably the thing that you've covered that caught me off guard the most. I was like, a Gothic remake.
Oh yeah. When I did an impressions video, I still didn't want to be like, I don't want to have just 10 minutes of footage that I haven't edited where I'm just talking over it, because everyone will fucking hate that.
Yeah, I can understand that. Did you actually, you know what? I guess another good question would be to just ask, what keeps you going on YouTube now? Is it just the sense of community and like how far your channel's come?
I guess it's just still fun to do. There are days where it's like, oh fuck, this is work.
Yeah.
It's like editing, but I try not to treat it like I don't know how to put it. I mean, in reality, it is an actual like commitment now, because there's people who are directly paying me to do it. But I guess I'm not letting my brain kind of treat it like an actual job. I'm not looking at charts to decide what to do next.
Do you have like other hobbies that you do, or is YouTube your main hobby?
I do have other, like, I do regular stuff when I have time.
Yeah, like I said, like I'm in a band and I do tabletop, so YouTube kind of falls into that gray area of I don't have anything else to do.
No, I can't do it right now, but I used to train horses and so I like horseback riding and stuff like that, but I'm not doing that now.
The fuck is your life, man? Like horseback trading, bees, YouTube.
With horses, I started in like high school, but that was just like the start was like, hey, can you help like manage the barn and then learn about these animals and all that. So
wow.
that was also when I discovered what furries actually were, which was really important.
What, with horses?
Yeah. Because I had to have that talk one day at the barn about, hey, some of the people, they're not here to go horseback riding.
That was...
I had to get the pervert warning about just, like, watch out.
That was...
Like, if you see anyone who seems weird, just, like, say, we can't...
Oh, some of these people are not here to see the horses.
No. Just to be fair, not all furries are out to fuck horses, but
that's true. But I
encountered did turn out to be one. But
did you actually run into that? Did you actually have somebody who showed up like that?
They didn't like walk up in a fursuit, but it was someone who was after the horses essentially, and it was, fuck. The details become fuzzier as the years goes on, because it's like my brain trying to protect me from the memory of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you didn't witness Mr. Hands, you know?
No, I never saw anything. I saw an attempted grooming of a horse.
Oh, I see. Good lord.
I later found out they were a furry, but what kind of pissed me off about it was that he was like a wolf or some shit, and he wasn't a horse. So that really irritated me.
I like how you said you later found out, and which implies that you spoke to this person later, and that you became friends.
No. There was someone else there who knew who he was, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he worked at my Sonic drive-thru or whatever the fuck."
Oh my god.
He's like, "Oh yeah, he had like wolf artwork or something like that of himself."
Got a wolf tattoo.
Like, well, it's like he was trying to fuck a horse. But in his heart and soul, he's a wolf.
What are you gonna do, man? Like, what is he gonna do? He's not gonna fuck a wolf. The wolf will kill him.
Yeah, I mean, a horse can kill you too, which is why he's trying to groom the horse.
Yeah, Mr. Hands proved a horse can kill you.
Yeah, horses teach you very permanent lessons.
I worked for an addiction clinic for about 3 years. And I also had to have that talk of, hey man, keep an eye on the patients. Some of these people are, not here really to get healthy, or if some of them are, they're going to get healthy together. And I was like, oh, okay. And it became even with people being divided, it got so bad we had to divide people into wings. And then that just became a whole different thing, because I live in Mississippi and there aren't any gay people here. And so I was just like, well, that's just going to cause whole new problems. And everybody's like, what do you mean? I was like, I guarantee you that's not going to fix your problem. It's not going to fix your problem at one bit.
Yeah. I mean, I also grew up, Mississippi, we're in the same region. I was in the North Carolina, South Carolina.
Oh, that's where my sisters live. Or did for a while.
It's the same kind of thing. It was like, you grow up and it's like, what are gay people? Like, I remember I had like a talk from a teacher or something, because someone, so I was at this group, and one of them, like, I can't remember what he called somebody. It was some, what did he say? My brain, my memories of school are very, very muddled. But he said some kind of slur about trans people. I can't remember what the fuck it was, because it was so long ago. But I remember this teacher like pulls to the side, and it wasn't even like he and we as a group were in trouble. But she was like, "Oh, you don't want to say I know what you said and what you think it might meant, but you shouldn't say it. You should just talk about it." And it's like, okay, and we are. This is a learning experience, because we probably didn't know what the fuck that meant.
And you're in school.
Yeah, and in school in like fucking South Carolina. So it's like the teacher is nowhere near as qualified either. It's like now the correct term for that is she-male. Oh, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
for years and years, I thought that was the okay term. I
Well, for
later
just
learned
like a male to female trans person?
just either way. I didn't know.
Oh, she-male is both of them. I see.
Yeah, I just didn't. I was like, oh, it's like they're a girl or a boy or whatever. It's like, oh, so they're called she-males. Oh. I later found out when I went to a college, and one of the gen ed courses was a sociology class. Oh God, I'm fucked. My brain's about to cave in. That's when I learned that apparently that's not the right term for it.
I see.
So I was like, because professors asking us questions about stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, like LGBT rights and all this. Da, da, da. It's like, because you have like gays, and like the she-males. They're like some what?
You actually said that out loud in like a college course?
I didn't know.
Oh.
I legitimately thought that was like, I thought that was the okay term for it. And
you sweet summer child.
Yeah, and this was like in a sociology class in a college. So people were like, oh, and I was like, what? And everyone was fucking pissed at first, but I explained it, and then the professor's like, we could use this. This is a lesson about how education works. And how these terms are still very new to the general public.
I'm
the example now.
Yeah, you are. You're the example. You're the guinea pig.
Yeah.
I mean, we're way off topic now, but I grew up as the gay boy in Mississippi. I was the gay boy. I never gave a shit, like, male or female. It never mattered to me. So I was the guy who had to do all of that explaining, like, to friends or, like, everybody at school. But I don't know, man. There's some inherent thing in Mississippi to where no matter how much it actually is prevalent here, nobody's even going to, like, talk about it. You can't say... I don't know a single person here who says that they're transgender or transsexual. Like, it's just unheard of. Because, I mean, you don't want to talk about that socially or in public.
Not in Mississippi.
Yeah, you literally do run a chance of getting lynched. Like, you actually run, like, a small chance.
So, that's kind of the same thing here. It's just like, that's why I didn't know. It's like anyone who knew about that stuff wasn't going to be talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying I can relate. That's exactly the same type of environment I grew up in.
Yeah. Also, going off topic again, my friend got back to me. It wasn't the CIA, it was the cyberpunk book for GURPS. It was seized by the U.S. Secret Service in 1990.
Oh.
They thought it was a handbook for computer crime.
Oh, of course. I guess they didn't know what GURPS was.
No, because they just saw a book called, this is probably like cyberpunk tagline, cyber crime or whatever in the future.
Handbook for computer crime.
Yeah. They thought it was like the anarchist cookbook, but for electronic computers.
Oh, and they just sold that and the book's a million. That's...
Because they grabbed it for like, the seizure delayed publication for 6 weeks, because they looked at it, and then went, oh, this is for some nerd shit, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, because nobody in the Secret Service plays tabletop. That's probably true. I grew up next to a guy who is now in the Secret Service, and I'm trying to think about that guy, and
there's 100. I could tell you 100%. There's people in the Secret Service who play GURPS.
Well, I'm trying to think of that guy, and I'm like, yeah, he wouldn't. But there's got to be some people in there. So let me see. What else do I have here? Are you gonna cover Bannerlord?
I might do an impressions video on that. It's soon, isn't it? Like a week or so, right? Sometime
2-3 weeks. It's about 2 or 3 weeks. It's coming out at the end of this month.
I might not get to it on time because like all my attention's focused on a Total War video. I might do a something on it, or maybe the first game. Just like I don't want to do like a bunch of early access / demo stuff. Yeah. But I know I'll get to it eventually. I haven't really planned around it.
I've got another one here. I don't actually know what this is because it's not exactly my forte. But somebody asked if you're going to review Age of Decadence.
I've heard a bit about that one. I don't know yet.
I don't know the first thing about it. I thought about it. I thought about sending these questions and being like, yeah, you can just, come up with his own answers. Because
it's a fairly new RPG game. I heard good things about it. I'm pretty sure I wrote it down on the big list, but
Well, let's go into the list of questions that were literally, what is your favorite? Because, I mean, we're always going to have those. Somebody wanted to know, what's your favorite Warhammer game?
Oh, man.
At this point, Mechanicus?
I don't... Because it is hard to rate, like, games when it comes to, like a franchise, because it's like you have so many genres in it.
That's
I guess
true.
if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Dawn of War Dark Crusade.
Mine would probably be
love that game.
Chapter Master. I don't know, Chapter Master. I've got a deep love for how awful it is. I love that.
I like it. I like it a lot. I would love Masters of Orion 40K.
Yeah. Somebody asked favorite Empire province, which I'm guessing they're asking about Empire of Earth.
No,
or Empire Earth.
I'm gonna guess they're asking about Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah.
It's like, it's generic. I'd probably say Reichland, but as a runner-up, I'd say Wissenland.
See,
whatever.
My God, 40K Fantasy, not 40K Fantasy, Warhammer Fantasy. I don't know shit about Warhammer Fantasy. I know 40K
really
pretty well.
Well, what's nice about Fantasy is that the scale isn't like so monstrously huge. So as far as like world building goes, you can get a better sense of like, okay, this is here, that's there. Since it's just alternate like universe Earth essentially.
Oh, so there's definitely like an actual map, and it doesn't just span galaxies.
Yeah. It's basically just like an altered map of Earth with a large donut between America and Europe.
Oh,
like you have lizard people living in like South America. You have like the Tomb Kings, the Necrons living in like the North Africa essentially.
See, I played the Total War game, but I only played it for like 5 hours, and then I stopped because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this.
If you're new to them.
It was probably my first. It was my first Total War game, and it was a terrible one to start out on.
There's so much going on in them. Actually, as far as the campaign goes, it's like Total War Warhammer is actually one of the more casualized versions of the campaign.
Is it really?
The older games, like Rome 1 or even Medieval 1. Yeah, the campaign mechanics are like way more convoluted. I won't say complicated, I won't say convoluted.
Did you, somebody also asked, what was your favorite tabletop game? Which I was like, I don't know if that's even a thing he does, but I guess I'll ask.
I mean, I've played a bunch of fun. I don't know if I really have a favorite. I like Fantasy Flight's Descent game. That one's. I like. House on the Hill.
House on Haunted Hill. I always
want to call it House on the Hill, and then the Netflix show came out, Haunting of Hill House, which is really fucked with my neurons.
I would not be able to handle that. I would get those swapped up too easily.
I like that game a lot. There's 40K in general is fun, but I haven't played in several editions. There's also a really fucked version of Risk called what's it called? Risk Legacy.
Oh yes, Risk Legacy. Have you...
The map just gets more fucked as multiple games go on. I love that game.
Have you I owned this is the only reason I ask, because I've never heard anybody else talk about it, but it's awful. It's the Metal Gear Solid 4 version of Risk.
I've seen the box for that. I've never played it.
It honestly deserves a video. I should probably do a video. It's awful. It's just terrible.
Really?
It's just god awful, because
fuck up Risk.
It's got the I don't know how much you know about Metal Gear Solid.
I played everything.
Okay, so it's got Outer Haven, the moving submarine, and originally it starts out in an NPC, and then it just randomly goes around fucking everything, and then you can take it over, and once you've essentially got control of that, you basically have control of the map, because it basically just teleports. And it's just awful. Every game just becomes a rush to get that one object.
Yeah, if it was just like an NPC thing that you can do anything about, that'd probably be better compared. Well, you know what you want to get, you know what you want to fight over.
Yeah,
like Risk is not a game where you want to have everything concentrated on one fight.
Yeah,
that's where the slog starts. That's when someone's like, okay, I'm gonna roll my fucking 25 dice.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it becomes. Did you did you play? Oh, what is the name of that game? Oh yeah, the Fantasy Flight Game of Thrones game.
I did not.
That's fantastic. I would recommend that.
There's a lot of like really popular tabletop games I haven't played. Like I've never played Settlers of Catan.
You've never played Settlers of Catan?
No, I know it's. I can't even get the fucking name right.
How did you manage?
I don't know. It's, I guess because the people I play tabletop games with were already like on a higher power level than I was when I started out. So they'd be like, "Oh fuck that! Like we're playing this."
Oh yeah, that's me nowadays. I would rather not play Catan anymore. But yeah, I don't know how you made it through college without playing one game of Settlers of Catan.
No, like if it was something casual, it'd be something like usually more card-based, like Munchkin or something like that.
Oh my god, I've played too many games of Munchkin at this point. I'm more or less bored of it.
Munchkin's just like a warm-up game. It's like, okay, we're still waiting for everyone to get here.
Yeah, basically.
D&D or whatever.
Somebody wanted to know what your favorite 40k faction is. I am going to put all of my bets on Imperial Guard.
Yeah, I guess so. Like there's a lot I like in 40k though. So I really like orcs. Like there's some Space Marine legions I like.
Don't tell me, man. I play Slaanesh all day, every day. That's all I play. I have a giant Slaanesh army, and that is it.
I mean, at least you're not Nurgle, because it's like I like the idea of like Nurgles in the lore, Nurgles in real life. It's usually the smelly guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wear deodorant. Don't worry. No, I'm just the guy who shows up and like with. I don't know. I'm the guy who puts like tentacle monsters down on the table, you know, and then everybody walks out of the room because they're like, why does he even have that?
I really like Tyranids too, but
oh my god, I love Tyranids. If I played a second like a faction, I'd play Tyranids.
It's tempting to go back to like catch up from years of not playing any 40k because a Warhammer store. I was shocked that I guess Games Workshop stores are just called Warhammer stores now.
Are they really? Are you serious?
Yeah, there's one that opened like 2 or 3 dozen miles south of me, which is still pretty close. And I looked at it on like Google, and it's not called Games Workshop. It's called Warhammer.
Oh,
like the sign above it just says Warhammer, and I was like, I wonder if they rebranded it from Games Workshop, or if it's just like a smaller location that has.
It has to be like it has to be like a smaller offshoot, right? Because the Games Workshop things had like giant Space Marine statues outside and stuff.
Yeah, which was very strange to think about. Because I was like, I would assume that the Games Workshop store is still around, but they just carry like all of their properties, and maybe they started like experimenting with smaller locations just called Warhammer, which is just there for 40k or Age of Sigmar or whatever.
How many times have you been to a Games Workshop store?
I've been to an actual Games Workshop store once or twice. Years and years ago, like I didn't actually play 40k like an official Games Workshop place. We just had like a local, general kind of like board game store, which is closed down now.
I was gonna say you lived in South Carolina or North Carolina, man. What are you gonna do?
We've had there's been like 2 or 3 of them, which they all closed down after like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
but we've had board game places come, but they've always been like a local thing, which is why it was fucking shocking to see that like, oh, there's like an official like Games Workshop actually set something up here.
The closest Games Workshop place to me is 2 hours away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that's
like I thought it'd be like, oh, it'll probably be somewhere in like Georgia or something.
Yeah, that's the closest to me. And if I want to buy 40k stuff, there is one store that is 30 minutes away that sells like a very limited supply. Like, you know, if you just want to buy some Space Marines and some paint or something, they'll sell that, but they're not a Games Workshop store.
No, which is what you'd expect.
All I remember, since I've only been to it, since the only one's 2 hours away, the only thing I remember about it, since I've been there twice, was how frustrating the guy who was trying to sell me stuff was. He was really overbearing.
I think it might be like a GameStop kind of situation where they're like where they really push the sellers to like make something happen.
Oh yeah, I understand that. Did you work at GameStop?
No, I didn't. I've had friends that worked at GameStop.
I worked at GameStop, man. I think everybody almost everybody's worked at GameStop for, at least a week. I hated that job. Yeah, you're right. Games Workshop definitely has to be that. It's got to be commissions or something.
Yeah. I wouldn't ever work. Like, I'd fucking hate that. Like, I hate trying to push someone, like, to buy something when they're clearly not interested, but you have to. Like, for one of my college courses, I had to do, even, like, for a job for a while, I did, like, phone surveys. And that was just the fucking worst.
Oh,
it's
my
like
God.
You call someone up, like, they might hang up immediately when you start talking. And it's like in my mind, it's like, yeah, I do the same thing. But it's like, oh, fuck. It still sucks to have to do. I have to be that guy on the side of it.
Let me tell you a short story. I worked at DirecTV as a phone tech support for one day. I worked there. And I did my training, and I got one day of actual work where I picked up the phone for somebody who was calling and having like problems, and the other guy on the end of the line was some like really middle-aged, angry about not seeing his football game guy, and he screamed at me so much that he made me cry, and I walked out of the building and I never went back. Like,
yeah.
I can't do that, man. I just can't do it. I don't know how you did surveys over the phone. That sounds so frustrating and awful.
Yeah, but which is like why I wouldn't want to do like GameStop either. Because it's like, hey, it's like, oh, I can tell this guy just wants to buy this game. Do you want to pre-order? Do you want to sign up for a rewards card? It's like, oh, fuck.
All I ever tell those people is, nah, man, I worked at GameStop before. I'm all right. And, like, I know what you're doing. It's okay. Yeah, I'm sorry you have to say that.
I should start saying that. Actually, I won't need to. I haven't been in a GameStop in a long time.
Yeah, do you do much console gaming?
I mean, not really. It's like everything's digital now, and I have like most of the stuff I'd want like physical copies of. I have for the most part. It's like I have fiber now, so.
Oh my God, lucky you.
Yeah, I didn't for a long time. It's rare for the state. Like I didn't for the longest time. I had okay internet, but seeing what the greater civilized world had was really shocking when I first had.
Are you serious? I'm excited because we're getting fiber in my city. We're getting fiber the next few weeks.
Yeah, what threw me off was the first time I used YouTube with fiber. I can't remember what video I was watching, but I would like skip around in like a video, and it wouldn't have the loading bar come up.
Oh my God.
It would just like skip to that part in the little icon. It would just like go to that part in the video and be playing instantly.
This is going to be one of those things.
This is how it's supposed to work?
This is going to be one of those things that like 50 years from now, some child's going to listen to this and be like, that sounds archaic. That sounds stupid. Why would there ever be a loading bar?
Yeah.
Like how people feel about dial-up.
I mean, yeah, my family also had dial-up for longer than they probably should have. So I've had slow internet most of my life.
I really did too until I became an adult. I've got only a couple of other questions.
Sure.
Let me see. Somebody said, do you have any advice to indie devs? I'm an independent developer myself.
Oh man, that's broad.
I said something to the effect of, if it's Mandalore, he's just gonna say something like, make sure the sound design is good.
Oh, no. I would guess he's talking more about marketing than
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Anything. I would say that if you want a YouTuber to actually cover your game, I would make the email be clearly not sent by a list server or a bot or something.
Yeah, bot.
But yeah, because I'll get those all the time. They're like, greetings, YouTuber. We really loved your Let's Play / review of sci-fi game. Where it's like don't say that. Like I'm not.
Greetings, fellow youths. This reminds me of that meme.
Like, they'll say we really enjoy your Let's Play, or like it's quite clearly you're just like you're on a list somewhere for
a very surface level understanding of what you do. They know you're on YouTube and game.
Yeah, it was just someone marked it down like send a promotional mail out to these people. Jesus. And it's like I'm perfectly okay just putting that away. Like I might look at it briefly and it's like, oh, that doesn't look interesting, put it away. But if someone like sends an email and they're like, hey, if it's clear it's a person, I'm more likely to like respond or actually look at whatever they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. You responded to me, and that's I don't know. That definitely proves to me you respond to people.
Yeah, but it is hard because when you are indie, you don't have like a marketing budget or the time to be like mailing all these people out individually. But it's like if you know, like, if you have some people that you think might like your game, it would be a good idea to actually send a personalized mail to 4 people compared to just sending out a blanket, check this out, to 20 people who will likely just put it away.
Yeah, you'll probably get a better response for sure.
Yeah, like you might not get yes, but you'll have people who actually read it and might respond if it's like, I don't know, hey Pro Jared, I liked your video on that one girl and how much fun you want to take a look at my video? I don't know.
Hey Pro Jared, topical. Actually, I guess he's not topical anymore. That's been like 3 months or something, hasn't it?
I don't know what he's been doing. That was actually the first time I watched a Pro Jared video, but it was.
That was the first time. Was like the apology video.
No. I take that back. I saw his review of Metal Gear Rising. It fucking irritated me.
Oh, did he not like it? I don't actually remember what he said about that.
He said he thought you couldn't parry or something like that.
Oh,
it was something batshit about what did he say? I remember I saw it once. I was like, I'm never watching anything this guy makes.
Oh, come on, man. He's people too. He can be wrong.
I'm saying I hadn't ever seen him before. It was like, oh, a 1-minute review of Metal Gear Rising. I like that game. He got something like crazy off.
I mean, he's not. I don't know. We're getting into personal politics now. I mean, he's obviously not.
It's politics.
Yeah, I get. Well, personal politics. You know, like how we feel about other people. I don't know what the actual word for that is, so I just made something up, obviously. But I don't. He seems like a nice enough guy to me. Like I'd talk to him. You know, I'd do an interview like this with him or something. I really know that whatever it was that happened, like in his life, that like basically threw cancel culture at him like that. That's gonna turn him off from like anything like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was him, I wouldn't do it.
No, because it's like you never know when someone's gonna be like, let's just ask him the question anyway to see if he does something. He thought there was no dodge button. That was it.
There was no dodge button?
He thought you couldn't dodge in Metal Gear Rising.
You can jump.
It's like, it wasn't. I guess I do feel bad that I saw that and I'm just like, fuck it. Except usually it's like, if it's been something I'm watching and they just have like a different opinion, it's like whatever, like that's fine. Like people get things wrong. I've gotten things wrong. That just happened. But I don't know. I guess I had my own revengeance about revenge. So I was like, you didn't know you could dodge.
A good way to put it. We've got another strange question here that somebody asked. They said, what do you listen to or do while editing?
It depends, dude. Most of the time I'm not listening to much because I want to make sure the audio's okay. Like there are the sections now where I am able to just throw footage together and not have to worry about it. So I'll usually be listening to like, sometimes I'll like a TV show on or I guess I don't have like any go-to thing or music playlist I listen to.
Yeah, I'm saying
because it's like for music I do like try to like line things up subtly and stuff like that.
I've noticed you have a lot of really good. Obviously, I'm not a fantastic editor or anything, but I have enough of a knowledge of editing to where I notice some of like the subtle things that you put in. You have some really good matchups for audio cues and visual cues.
Yeah, that's usually because I'm not listening to stuff while I'm editing.
Same.
So I would love to just like do the footage voiceover and then throw the music on it. But I find it a little funner. It's like, oh, I'll have like this cut right when the music does a little thing or something like that.
What was it recently that I was watching? I was trying to prepare for this interview and I was watching a video of yours and it was the Ghostbusters theme. And what was it, really? Stalker? I don't know, but you did the Ghostbusters theme to match up with your logo appearing and something happening in the game.
It was probably the Goosebumps theme.
Yeah, what did I say? Ghostbusters theme?
Yeah.
It was the Goosebumps. Yeah, it was the Goosebumps theme. I'm sorry.
Well, you said Ghostbusters for Stalker, and I was like, I can see some places where I'd fit that in.
Yeah, no, it would have been a great idea, but no, I meant Goosebumps. I'm sorry.
And you're fine. Yeah.
I was watching that and I was like, wow, that was really subtle. I kind of wanted to know how he did that or something like that. So I thought to myself when I was reading this, I was like, I bet he doesn't listen to anything. He's got to get those things matched up.
I'm glad people notice it at least, but yeah, I typically don't listen to a lot because I'm trying to. It feels like I'm like on a submarine sometimes, like a working sonar. So like I'll just have like my hand pressed on my headphones, so like okay.
Oh my god, me too. I'm the exact same way when I'm editing.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Somebody asked another strange question. How would you describe your own channel?
It introduces you to video games that are either off to the side or older.
That's actually pretty. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, like I know people will be like, "Wow, like these videos are so in depth." It's like, yeah, compared to maybe like IGN or whatever publication. Like, I don't really think I go that far, like in depth, or make those.
Yeah, it's not Matthew Matosis, you know.
No. Like he's the top of his game. Like you can't compete with him.
You can't compete with him.
Well, he does like such an interesting like approach to it. And see, he almost treats like games more like how you like approach a book, which
he really does.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how he does it. Like he's fucking fantastic.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't go nearly that in depth. It's more like I do try to treat it like how you would talk to a friend about a game. Like, okay, here's what it's about. Like, here's some stuff that's good. Here's some stuff that's shitty. Here's maybe like a weird fact about it.
Like, yeah.
It. Like, if you want to play it, like, go play it. Like, I thought it was good. I thought it was bad, or I thought it was bad, but you can go play it.
Oh, you know what?
I don't use like a score or something like that.
You know what? I bet other people want to know that I, off the top of my head, want to know right now. What is that screaming electrification sound that you always do? That sample.
Oh, that's Marv being shocked in Home Alone 2.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Because every time I hear it,
by Kevin in Home Alone 2.
Why that? Why? That's in like every video of yours.
I just fucking love Home Alone. I really like Home Alone 1 and 2. But like people have gotten clever. Like I've pitched it down and like added distortion and like I've done audio editing so it'll move. Stuff. But someone will catch it every time I do it.
I'm sorry. That's really fun because I just pictured you doing the thing, cupping your hands to your ears, like making it pan and then like pitching it down.
Oh, the Fire Warrior video, I shot like a Chaos Space Marine with one. And I pitched it down and like I panned it to like the right ear while like the screen was turning left. And, like and I've had people like it is kind of fucked up to do things like that in a review, but I think it's funny. It's not going on Metacritic, so whatever.
No, that's super funny, dude.
I've had people go like oh, I like the gotchi screams or whatever. People will go like, wow, what the fuck is the sound design? That sounded like The Simpsons and that guy got shot. It cracks me up every time. It's like, wow, what the fuck is that screaming? Like, how do the developers record
that? How do the developers record that? Yeah. They think that it's actually in the game?
It's not often. Like, most people know it's a joke. But every so often you'll have that guy who hears, like, this high-pitched screaming in, like, an RPG or something. Like, it's clearly not from the game. But they'll be like, what's that screaming? Why would they do that?
The YouTube comment section is truly, like, the best part of modern society.
It's magical.
It's literally a magical place.
Sarcasm or, like, anything. And so you'll have, like, the strangest responses and stuff.
You say somebody that doesn't have sarcasm? Is that what you said?
They can't, like, pick up on sarcasm. I think one of the big ones was in the EVE Online video. I talked about... They used to have this thing in the game, they don't have it anymore, where you could, like, help identify parts of a cell for research or something like that. But the thing was, everyone was picking cytoplasm because they'd see green everywhere. And they were incorrectly identifying it as cytoplasm. So I went, okay, playing EVE Online, I learned the cytoplasm is the powerhouse of the cell. And so I had, like, this graph pop up, this graphic of it, and every part of the cell was marked cytoplasm. Like, every part of the cell cytoplasm. And to this day, I'll get comments, and they'll say, wow, you're a fucking idiot. Mitochondria is the powerhouse.
You got a whole bunch of Parasite Eve fans, man. You made them really mad.
Yeah, but it's like, I have like a big graphic showing every part is marked as cytoplasm. And I'll still get nasty coming into the comments telling me that, no, you're wrong. It's actually the mitochondria.
Your fucking personal FBI agent is out there
Like, you were looking at the screen? It's right there. It's quite clearly a joke. But like, whatever.
Let me see. I think we only have four questions left. I think. Let's see. What different things are you gonna do in 2020?
Man, I guess as far as YouTube stuff, it's kind of the same old, but I might try to do not hugely different, but I might try to do like more impressions videos or like an early access type of thing.
Yeah, man, your last one turned out great.
Yeah, like it's not different because I did it before, but I do want to try and do mod videos. A few more of them.
The mod videos seem to be from what I got from questioning people. People love your mod videos, man. That's something that people seem to really want to come back for.
Yeah, I did one. People liked it, but I was like, yeah, I'd like to do more.
Yeah, people really want to see it.
It does take more setup. And I reach out to the modders, like, hey, I want to talk about it and stuff like that. But
what are you going to do if they don't want to talk about it?
I mean, I could still do a video on the mod. They just won't be there to be like... Because I guess the difference is modders are very underappreciated, I think. Like, you might know, like, like, everyone knows who Todd Howard is, or, like, people worked on Skyrim. Like, you'll have, like, these huge overhaul mods and these insane essential things people will use. But it's like, they don't know who the fuck made it. It's like, a lot of, like, they don't even get, like, paid much or much praise. Like, if you look on the Steam Workshop.
Like Skyrim script extender?
Yeah, like, you'll mainly get people who will, like, comment, like, just update please when the game updates.
Oh, man, could you do a video on that Skyrim script extender? Knowing who did that would be like knowing the guy who unlocked, like, a temple in, like, a pyramid or something. Because it's like the mod that you have to like make all like the really big mods work.
I think that was it Time?
I don't know, man. I know very little about modding.
Yeah, the script extenders have been going since like Morrowind.
Oh, have they?
I think it was What was it, Zaldir? I think they I think the website was Silverlock. So I remember the authors for the Oblivion one at least were like, it was a guy named like Ian and Steven. I always think the Beatles. It was like Ian and Steven and Paul, I think, for Oblivion.
And John and Ringo.
Yeah. Because I don't remember their full names, but it's like that, where it's like, hey, maybe the modders should get some appreciation for their work.
Yeah, you should talk to those guys.
Yeah, so it's like, it's not gonna be like as critical as like a game review because they're doing it for fucking free, like of their own time with very little appreciation for it. It's like, yeah, like we'll have the modder here to talk about what they did and why they did it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about like how they came to that conclusion. I'm doing a interview somewhat after this one, of a guy named Gino Samuel on YouTube. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's doing a very extensive, very long, like Matthew Matosis-esque long series about Chris Chan and Chris Chan's like entire life.
Oh wait, I think I might. Does he have anything uploaded yet?
Yeah. He's in like part 30 or something, and like each one of the first few ones are like an hour long each.
I have seen some of his stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interviewing him as well, and that was the reason I wanted to do that, man. Like I was like, I'd rather interview this guy than Chris Chan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I'm not super caught up, but maybe. Holy shit! Like 8 years ago, I was full on Chris Storian. Like that was fascinating.
I mean, I don't know, man. There's something about him. I don't know. Well, he's fascinating.
It's also what happens when you're like a frozen college dorm in a basement. That's like you're stuck inside for a blizzard.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, well, let's find out who is this Chris Chan guy. Wait a minute.
Like just all the lore behind it, and just like how well documented his life has been. So I'm not, like I said, I haven't been caught up with him in years. Like you hear the big bits about what he's been doing.
Yeah.
You know, like don't call anybody. Like there's stuff that like will pop up that you can't ignore.
Yeah, somebody said recently that Chris Chan might likely be the most well documented human being on the internet.
Yeah, it's like just the amount of records and.
Yeah, he took a video every single day for like years.
Yeah, like as someone who worked and studied for history, like. As strange as it is, like on a professional level, I guess. Like the amount of like archival work is just incredible. Just, like the citations for everything and how everyth's been documented and like cross-referenced.
I work with archaeologists.
Impressive document.
I work with archaeologists and historians on a daily basis with my job, and I can only every time they bring up something about something being like really well documented, I'm like, still not as good as Christian. It's not going to be as the quickie. It's not going to be nearly as much. That's
all a professional could do is just change the quickie citations to be Chicago style. There's not much more you can do.
It's so stupid. It's exactly what somebody would do, though.
Yeah, then it becomes an academic document.
I get so much shit. I had to recently do an entire course. That's why I laughed so hard. I had to do a course like last week about how to do Chicago style stuff, and I had to sit in a classroom for like 2 hours.
That was what was fucked when I was doing like political science and history courses at the same time. Because political science people wanted APA, I think, and history wanted Chicago. And so I'd be working on multiple projects at once, and I'd be like, oh fuck, which one is this?
Jesus Christ, dude, that sounds like hell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's over, but it was worth it.
Let's see. Not that many more questions. Have you ever removed an item from the list?
I know I've taken a few out, but the problem is I can't remember them.
Do you know why?
Yeah, it was either they got like a really good coverage, like there was another good coverage piece in another video, or it might have been something like I can't figure out how to run the game like as hard as I'm trying. Like it might not work anymore, and I need to try to figure it out, so I'll take it off. It was usually something more kind of out of my hands. Like I had actually, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I was gonna say I think I took off Dawn of War 1, but I actually put the reason on the notes, which was because Thunder Psyker, he's another YouTuber, he did a really good series on Dawn of War 1. Okay. And so I left just to watch the Thunder Psyker series. I kept it on the list so people will see I'm aware of it.
I feel you. You know, do that more often. Strange question. That's actually just a personal question, real quick. Since you just covered it, did you have any issues running Mechanicus?
No.
I've had it crash on me like 4 times now.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it worked perfectly fine the moment I started it.
Yeah, I'm running. I've gone through all the settings, tried to get everything to stop, and it just randomly crashes during loads.
That's so strange.
Yeah, I have no idea.
What's your hardware?
This is gonna get real nerdy. There's gonna be some people here who just tune this part out.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm running on an Asus motherboard with a Radeon Sapphire. I think it's I don't remember how many gigahertz it is, and an 8-core AMD 3.6 on Windows 10.
Okay, that's so it could be an AMD issue.
It probably is. I mean,
I use NVIDIA.
Do you?
NVIDIA. Well, I take that back. My CPU is a Ryzen now, so I got my CPU switched out.
Man, you got that. You got those YouTube bucks. You can afford an Intel PC. I can't.
No, I had an Intel one for a while, but it was starting to die after a long time of use. But
and your experience is Intel better? I've only ever been an AMD boy.
For CPUs, I've usually used Intel. No, pardon me, I take it back. No, yeah, I usually use Intel, but because I had tried like a budget it was probably like Pile Driver or something. I tried an AMD one out many years ago that had like the multiple cores and was way cheap. And it did okay, but there were games that it fucking struggled on.
Oh man, I lose frames on just about everything I play just because I'm playing on AMD.
Yeah, but I had the Ryzen though. Like it's been great for editing and games. I haven't noticed like any drops compared to like Intel.
I need to get a Ryzen. They're only like what, $300 now?
Yeah, they're fairly down there.
Yeah.
They made Intel drop their prices. The problem with Intel is that I feel like I have like a show of a furry with like crossed arms. Like the problem with Intel. But what happened was their paste has gotten really shit internally because when I had a 7700K, I delidded the thing and replaced the shitty paste they had inside of it.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you.
The high temperatures dropped by 20 degrees Celsius.
Good lord!
Yeah, it's fucking insane. Like how much because they had such like a market lead, they just did not give a shit.
That's a massive leap though. 20 degrees Celsius.
It's really that bad because what happened was AMD hired this big team of engineers a few years ago, and the results from that are starting to show. Well, Intel's been mainly just sitting on their hands, just like happy to innovate very little and just still have the big market share.
Like you said, their market share was huge.
Oh yeah, but AMD is starting to surpass them now.
Yeah,
because they were at that point where they could say we can put on pace that is this dog shit because we're that far ahead. And so I was like, you know what, fuck Intel. Like, even if like the whatever series might be slightly better than the Ryzen, like I don't want to give them.
I would, yeah, I would really rather have an Intel like processor as is, but knowing that now that just the because 20 degrees Celsius is so much. That's the difference between everything.
I mean, it's like they might do better in the future now that they realize they have to like catch them. But that's the problem with like AMD and Nvidia when it comes to.
Are you doing liquid cooling and stuff?
Oh no! I just have a power cooler.
Yeah, me too. I could, I've got a degree in it. I could, but I don't have the money.
Yeah.
So I'll do it once I get rich.
Nvidia and AMD, the problem is that Nvidia makes way better stuff for GPUs, but they're a very evil company compared to AMD.
Yeah.
AMD will have like free sync and all this open source stuff. It's like fuck, Nvidia still has all this.
Yeah, they're basically Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
They're a really terrible company. Let me see. Let me think. We only have 2 questions left. One was my personal, and one was from the list of questions.
Yeah.
One of them is, what fantasy world would you want to live in? Somebody asked. You seem to cover a lot of fantasy video games, so I guess that was their reasoning.
I mean, it's like if you go for like, I guess it's kind of a toss-up between like Middle Earth or the Elder Scrolls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as far as like, because the thing is, it's like when I think about that, I think of it as like okay, where am I in society like now?
Of course.
Where am I going to be kind of okay? Because you have those people who will say like, I'd be in 40K and be a commissar. It's like, no, if you're in 40K, you're gonna, and you're at like the level you are now.
You're a service girl.
You're gonna die you're gonna die working in a factory, or you're gonna like die to some orc on the front line somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, that's an interesting universe to look at, like from a big picture, if you had status, but like, I wouldn't want to fucking live in 40K.
Oh my god, that's weird. Judging because of the person that I work for now and working for the government now, I can literally say I'd live in like 40K and I'd probably have an okay life.
I mean, it's like you could be managing paperwork for like some planet that.
Dude, that's way better. That's way better than like everybody else in 40K. I'd be fine.
I don't know though, because it's like that's a lot of paperwork, and I don't know like what they have for entertainment as far as that goes.
I'd never thought about that. What do they do for entertainment in 40K? Drugs, I guess.
Know. Yeah, it's like it's the kind of thing that they probably don't world build much on, because it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, it gets rid of the grim darkness.
Star Wars is interesting, but it's like, what TV shows? How many channels does their television have? Like, Wikipedia could probably
the tech priests are the only people who have televisions, and they're on their own. They're on their own arms. Something like that. That'll be what the 40K wiki will say about it.
It's like most of the shows are probably propaganda anyways, because I don't know how much room there is for entertainment creativity that isn't Praise the Emperor on some level.
Mine's Ragnarok Online, man. I could live in Ragnarok Online.
Oh, that's so fun.
It would be comfortable. Like, there's just sit outside of Frontera, smack me some pourings, man. That's my life. I'd be just fine. And compare that to living in Elder Scrolls. I might be a slave somewhere or something. I don't know.
I mean, I guess if I say Elder, I guess I should specify Oblivion. Imperial City seems pretty okay.
Oh yeah, actually.
I wouldn't want to live any. I mean, there's some nice places in Morrowind.
I wouldn't want to live in Morrowind, dude. I wouldn't want to live in Morrowind.
I don't think I would like. There's nice areas, but it's like the closer you get to Ash Mountain, it's like
the worst it gets.
With racers, like you're trying to get your mail.
Oh god. Also, depending on what job you do, you might have to like leave the city.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You could be a what is the name of the things? You could be a miner. You could mine those sweet eggs.
Oh, the quama eggs.
Yeah, you could mine some sweet eggs for a living.
I mean, I guess that's true because once you have their scent, they don't give a shit about it.
Exactly. So you'd be all right.
Eggs.
Yeah. Okay. The only thing that I had left was I was listening to you talk about how you record for your videos, and you said that you set your stuff up so you're playing a game, and then you have to press a button, and then it records like whatever happened in the last 30 seconds.
Right. Like Shadow Play or OBS.
Yeah, you're still doing that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do. Oh, go ahead.
You know that's like the same thing that Video Game Donkey does, from what I understand.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that world, man. I have no idea about that.
I've seen a few of his videos. Like, I know. I mean, it is good when you're making like comedy type stuff. It's like if some glitch happens or if something funny happens, you could use. You just press a button. Like the past minute or 5 minutes are just captured automatically. So you could just go, oh great, a glitch happened. Bang, I got it.
That kind of made me think after I heard you say that most of your videos will open with like a cold open, and then something happens, and then you say something. Yeah. And I'm guessing that that's just things that you've captured. Before that, I thought that was just you know, you'd get the footage and then you talk over it.
No, because what happens is there are some people I know who will just record hours and hours and hours of footage. But and like you said when we started the interview, because I don't know if that part will stay in or not. When you're like, oh shit, like you sound like the videos right now. It's like, yeah, because sometimes my microphone will be set up, and I might actually just say something when I'm playing the game. I'll just leave that in the video.
Oh, do you have your microphone going like the whole time?
Sometimes I do. It's not often, but like it'll sometimes be a case of just like I forgot and I've left it on, and like the Shadow Play settings will record your microphone. So like I might kind of have it off to the side a bit, and so like I might have to like boost that track up. But it might, because sometimes it is just, well, most of the time it is me talking over the footage that's prepared. But every so often you'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or, holy shit. And that's just something that actually happened while playing the game, but I just kind of integrated in.
I mean, in my mind, of course, because I know nothing about this kind of thing, that's fascinating. But yeah, I'm sure for you, it's very normal.
Yeah, I've talked to other people who do this, and I do know that some of the stuff I do is very strange when it comes to, like, for sure.
Well, I mean, you've seen what I do, I think. It's not, I don't know. Mine's not anywhere near the level of what you're doing. So I just, in my mind, you've got this giant setup with like a preamp on the right or something, and
I mean, like, most of the stuff I use is pretty cheap. Like, it's kind of intimidating. I mean, music now, so because you're in a band, so you don't really give a shit like music equipment. But like when you just want to talk about video games, like that's really fucking intimidating when you see like a streamer or a YouTuber or whatever, and they have like these weird machines in their desk, and like these microphone arms. There's like all these wires and shit over the microphone.
Dude, my wife was a streamer for a while, like full-time streamer, and the amount of equipment that ended up being. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because it's like, you don't like, when I finally got a microphone, it's like, oh, those wires over the bottom of the microphone, that's like there's like shock absorbers where it's just like okay, that arm clamps onto the desk, like that's the preamp. But when you don't know from like stage 0, it's like, what the fuck is all this for?
Yeah, that's
how do they do that? You have to learn so much. How do they do that?
I don't know, man. I can't say it's too hard, but I can definitely see why it would be overwhelming. If anybody out there is listening to this, I would definitely say give it a shot. If you have a dream for YouTube, man, just go for it. I mean, I'm saying that from... What?
There's people who have like recorded like just with their phone, like as their microphone. They've done really well.
Yeah.
So, like equipment and stuff like that is nice to have once you can like afford it and you actually have a need for it. Like you don't need this fancy Epic Gamer Dual Titan setup to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm talking from I'm literally sitting here on, I actually don't know, I think it's like 206 subscribers, something like that. Last I checked, like last week. But I'm talking from that, and I'm still saying, do whatever it is that just sounds fun, It may sound intimidating, but you're just looking at it's just equipment. You can learn it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we've gone for like an hour and 30 minutes, man. I didn't mean to keep you this long. I really apologize.
Totally fine. Oh, no. I mean, I made time for it. It wasn't. I had anything set up right after this.
Like, I super apologize for going an hour and 30 minutes. I wanted this to be an hour at most, and
you're totally fine.
Yeah, I just didn't want to take up too much of your time. But
I mean, I'll eat after this, but I'm.
I think
you haven't inconvenienced me.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man, and taking some questions and just talking about stuff.
Thank you for having me.
No, the pleasure's all mine, man. Thank you so much. If you want to do this again sometime, or if I have somebody else on who you'd like to be on while I'm interviewing them, feel free, let me know. And we'll do something like that.
Excellent.
All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you later. I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to make soup.
All right. All right, thanks.